Hello, friends. We have Sandeep Tripathy today, who is a product designer, YouTube content creator, and author specializing in the domain of technology. He has built digital products for some of the biggest names in tech in the last decade. He has also written a book on no code, and today he will share some interesting facts. So, a very warm welcome, Sandeep. And the first question goes like this. Basically, for the listeners, it's very important to know what is generative AI specifically.
AI, or artificial intelligence as we call it, you see the word intelligence, it's basically assigned with humans. When we can do the thinking part, we can do some analysis in our brain and we can come up with some sort of a conclusion or information. When you attach that sort of a thing with machines or systems or computers, that's when this term becomes artificial intelligence. I mean, in a nutshell, that's exactly what it means. The one that we are using these days, the one which has taken the world by storm, is generative AI. I mean, it's a part of artificial intelligence, if you see. And specifically what it does is you have a system which is written in algorithms and all that sort of stuff. What exactly happens after that is you take a large amount of data and you train that system on that data. So what exactly happens is the system uses all this data as knowledge, and based on that data which the system has learned, it will give you answers, or you can have a chat with it and all that sort of stuff. So everything you see like Gemini by Google or ChatGPT, they're all trained on millions of sets of data, and based on that they are giving you all the answers that you ask them, or you ask them to do something. Is they know how to write a letter, they know how to write an essay, they know how to write a story and all that sort of stuff. So that's exactly how generative AI works.
See, AI is making waves in various fields. Can you share some positive ways generative AI is impacting, particularly in healthcare, be it education or even the arts?
Well, generative AI obviously has been playing a very good role. Initially, it was very limited to, drafting an email or a letter or an essay or something like that. But now it has obviously, grown, and people are seeing, like professionals from multiple industries are seeing that can be used in many ways. Like healthcare and education are two areas which I am kind of very excited about, because these two are integral areas for almost every country in the world, especially here in India. So if we see healthcare, we see rural areas where we have the basic level of medical facilities, not the extreme specialized ones. So these are the places where if we have AI systems which have a fair amount of idea, if we train them with the right set of data, and they have fair amount of idea about diagnosis and in a way that they can assist doctors, then all these people who live in rural areas who may not have the best facilities right there, they can utilize AI to understand if there is anything wrong with their health and if they should be actually talking with the doctor. And actually, this can also be extended a little bit more. I mean, we have smartphones and smartwatches. All these devices are capturing data about us. It could be either BP data, stress data, blood oxygen, heart rate monitor, so many things. Now, if we take all this data and then AI can make sense out of it, then AI would probably be able to predict if there is anything that is lacking in us, like from a health perspective. Maybe somebody's not getting the right amount of sleep that they're supposed to, or maybe there's something wrong with the way the heart is functioning and all that sort of stuff. So obviously AI is not going to become a doctor in this sort of a case, but it can become a very good assistant to a doctor, as you can see. So the doctor can actually refer to all these sort of things and make some decisions based on it, or maybe prescribe something specific to that sort of a condition. So these are like some, I would say, rudimentary levels where AI is actually making something. And there are also the higher levels. Like I recently read the University of Cambridge, the researchers over there, they're utilizing AI to find a cure for Parkinson's. Now, there are like so much of research which has been done in the last couple of decades. Now, if the researchers are going to spend all their time just coming to a conclusion of some sort when it comes to what has been done and what they are supposed to do, it will obviously take a lot of effort. So this is probably an area where they are exactly utilizing AI, which can help them out. Healthcare is obviously a place which can get enough benefits when it comes to it. Education also similar, I mean, obviously we have sort of a divide, when it comes to tier 2, tier 3 or rural areas, and tier 1, obviously, here we have so many coaching institutes and everything. The rural areas may not have that level of quality. So they can utilize AI as a personal tutor. In fact, that's literally what is happening, because recently the company OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, they have unveiled GPT 4.0 or 4 Omni as they call it, just 2-3 days come out. It literally acts as a personal tutor. There is an example on their YouTube channel where you can see it is teaching a kid how to solve math problems. And you can have a real conversation with it, just like you do it with a human being. A human being probably takes around 300 milliseconds or so to respond. And that is also pretty much on similar line. It's kind of like how we used to see Iron Man talking with Jarvis and all that sort of stuff. That's happening in real life these days. And I think we can utilize all of this for our benefits, especially in areas where they don't have the best facilities in education and stuff. Now, these are like 2 examples. And of course, if you do an extension of this, you can see its implementation in multiple fields.
With AI automating tasks, are there concerns about job losses? Because with AI doing almost everything, this question definitely arises that the future of work in India can get hampered.
What exactly happens is, we must have noticed this in the last few decades as well. Whenever a new technology comes, it disrupts something or the other. Some or the other industry gets disrupted in some or the other manner. And in most cases, at least for the maximum level, it is always for the good. Of course, we do see some other impacts as well. For example, like smartphones, we see so much power that it has added to a common person's life. We also see some sort of a disadvantage that people get with addiction, with the screen time and all that sort of stuff. But largely, if you see, it does good. And that's pretty much with every technology. When the television was out, obviously it did something like it. The radio did it. I'm just going like way back, like about 100 years or something like that. But we can exactly see how technology comes into the picture and it disrupts. And that's exactly what AI will also do, because this is also a huge paradigm shift. It's not an ordinary technology coming out of nowhere. So short run, I'm sure there would be some or the other impact. And in fact, I think we have started noticing a lot of impact in multiple places around the world. Companies are making decisions around how they can use AI and, get their jobs done instead of, probably hiring humans. So of course that is there. But we need to look at the good side of it. And this is what a lot of people have been focusing on. And I'll just tell you exactly how this exactly helps. A person who doesn't have a lot of resources, maybe not VC funding, maybe not a lot of money in pocket, but he or she has a good idea. Now, that person can actually utilize AI to get a lot of stuff done in an affordable manner and probably build a business around it. For example, if I want to start a company, but I don't know how to code in Python, and I need to build an app which runs on that, if I have a basic understanding of programming, I can ask ChatGPT to actually write Python code for me, do the debugging for me, and then take all that entire code and build it into an app. Now, this is possible for me now because of AI. If I actually hire Python engineers, that would cost me money. For that, either I need to have money or I need to take it from the VCs, which may not be the facility for everybody. So, as Sam Altman, who's the founder of OpenAI, he said that very soon we're going to see one-person billion-dollar companies. And he's not exactly trying to refer in this sort of way that billion-dollar companies are going to do a lot of layoff and they're going to run by just one person. But those one people who had really good ideas, but they were not able to do because they had a lack of resources, especially in the developing countries, even in India, these people will now be empowered enough to actually start something of their own, because there would be nothing stopping them. They just need a subscription to ChatGPT Premium, or even if they don't want to use that, they can use the free version. And whenever they do that, they will have like so much of resources that they can utilize and come up with something that can probably become $1 billion company. So that's where I see the major impact happening.
Sandeep, what exciting possibilities do you see for generative AI in the next decade, especially keeping the Indian context in mind?
Here, I'd like to say that if you see the entire journey of AI as 100% thing, we are right now barely at 2%. That's the reality. There is absolutely a long way for us to go. There is a lot of stuff to cover, and we are barely scratching the surface at this sort of a moment. If I do a comparison and put it in simple words, if you see, a supercomputer is also a technology, and so is the smartphone, right? And if you really have to compare the supercomputer or the smartphone, then AI is more like a smartphone, not like a supercomputer, because supercomputer is utilized in specific industries and in specific areas. It's not something that everyone is using. But a smartphone is being used by every single person that you can think about. And AI is going to be pretty much like that. AI is going to be everywhere. Literally every single person is going to be using it in their day-to-day lives. AI is going to be integrated into people's lives like an extension of their life. It's not going to be like something that people use whenever they think for a specific case. It's just going to be a day-to-day sort of thing. And the main thing is it's always going to be adding productivity to our lives. For example, as I said recently, like in healthcare and education, there's a huge impact that AI can do. But even in our daily lives, for example, a small example would be like, what do you want to cook or what do you want to eat? It's like a very simple question I think everybody faces in our day-to-day lives. So you can just tell AI, this is what I have in my fridge. What should I cook for the next 2 days or 3 days? I mean, it's like a very basic thing that you put in your energy into, or you think about it, you come up with some conclusion, and you can outsource this thing to AI. And this was like a very basic thing that you are doing. Even more important things that you plan to do, you can do that. For example, if you want to start a business or if you want to move to a different country, you can probably ask AI to set up a plan for you. AI can help you with business plans. Or if you're visiting a new country, an itinerary is something that AI can do for you. So definitely, as I said, AI is going to be the next smartphone. It's not going to be the next supercomputer. It's going to be something that everyone is going to use in an everyday basis, and that's definitely going to happen.
And lastly, what advice would you give to our listeners who are curious about AI? Are there any sources that can explore to learn more and more about it?
So my advice to every single person now is to be excited about it, because I see a lot of people being scared of it. I would say that every single time some or the other technology has entered our lives, people have been scared, but eventually they have gotten used to it. Eventually they have seen how much value it has added. So instead of being scared about AI, I think people should be excited about it. They should, learn more about it, play with their ideas, give their ideas a shot, because there were many things, as I said, that was impossible before because of lack of resources. But AI has enabled all of that for us, and people should utilize that. That is pretty much the entire thing that I would like to convey to people. But that being said, people should also be aware about the misuse of AI. They should know how it is being misused. The more they know, the more they would be able to avoid anything going wrong with their lives. So be aware, be excited, utilize all the resources that you have on YouTube, Google, everywhere. There are certifications available for free. People can learn them whenever they want to. And yeah, just go build something about it. That's going to be the best use of AI that I can say.
Thank you so much for sharing such valuable information. It was very interesting.
Thank you very much. It was really amazing to be here. Thank you.